Hello and welcome to this session. Here we are going to solve the question of the May 2019 question number 2 for the course of Engineering Economics for the PENG exam. So here the question is this one. A major city in west of Canada is planning to build a new bridge to decrease the traffic load on two old bridges connecting both sides of the city across the river. Construction is to start in 2020 and is expected to take 4 years at a cost of 25 million per year. 4 years, 25 million. After construction is completed, the cost of operation and the maintenance is expected to be 2.5 million for the first year, increased 2.8% thereafter. So we will know that the first year after finishing the job, the maintenance and operation cost would be 2.5 million, and after that it will gradually increase by the rate of 2.8%. You will use it later. The salvage value of the bridge at the end of the year 2053 is estimated to be 5 million. 5 million at the time of 2053. So the end of the project is 2053. Consider the present to be the end of 2018, beginning of the 2019, and the interest rate would be 8%. Now let's solve the question. In part A, draw a cash flow diagram for the project from present till the end of 2053. So for drawing the cash flow, we will just summarize what we read on the question. So right now we are in 2019, beginning of the 2019. The project will end at 2053. So this is the beginning, this is the end. The project will start on 2020. It will take 4 years. 1, 2, 3, 4 years. So 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. 4 years. Each year, the payment would be 25 million. So as it's whenever we are doing some expense, when we are paying something, the direction of the flow would be downward and the value would be minus. After that, by the beginning of the first year, for operation and maintenance, we have to pay 2.5 million, which will gradually increase by 2.8% to the end of the project. So we will mention it like this. At the end of the project, as you can see, this value should be operation and maintenance cost would be increased by that value of 2.8%, the power of, that you see that what's the difference of these years. And the salvage value is 2.5 million. Salvage is something which you are earning, so the direction would be upward. So this is the cash flow of this question. In part B, find the present worth of this project. In order to find the present worth, future worth, annual worth in this course, we have to use the compound interest table. You can find it in the internet. This is something like this. Just search for compound interest table. And you will get this table. So how we can use this table? For example, if I can show you later, but have a look here. For example, this question is talking about what the interest rate is 8%. We want to calculate if you want to change the time from future to past, or from annual to present, or for example, future to past, present to future, annual to future, annual to present, future to annual, present to annual, annual to gradient, and present to gradient. So these are the one which we can use if we want to use the compound interest table. So for example, if you want to consider 8%, and you want to consider, for example, in the fourth years, if you want to change the annual rate to the present rate, so present over annual rate, in a project with 4 years, the cross of this point would be our value. Here is 3.312. For example, if we want to calculate this compound, and that if you want to calculate this rate, for example, for future over present, in the, for example, 8 years, the value would be 1.851 for 8%. Let's go forward, we will understand it better. So here it asks us to calculate the present worth of the project. If you want to calculate the present worth of the project, it's better to consider it like this. So I'm telling you that he asks us to calculate the present, that he wants to know all this value and all this cost in the time of 2019. So we have to calculate all of them at their time, and after that, take it back to 2019. For example, in the first part, our expenses would be the construction expenses, after that, the operation and maintenance expenses, and at the end, the salvage value expenses. For example, here, we have to calculate this amount, which is annually expenses. So if I want to have it here, as this is annual, and I want something in present value, so I have to find the present over annual on that table. Here, as you can see, this is something which is increased gradually. We have a formula for that. Here, for example, something for some expenses for future. This is expenses for future. So we have to find something which bring these future expenses to today. And what is the difference? We have to use the future because I want to know because my value is for future. What I want to have is something for present. So we have to find the present over future. Let's solve it together. Here, for calculating the present value or present worth of the construction, I told you that we are paying 25 million for 4 years, which started by 2020. And now we are on 2019. So we have to use two factors. The first one to calculate that annual cost for 4 years. After that, to bring what's that, what is the whole value in 2020, bring it back to 2019. As I want to bring it back to 2019, because this is value for something for future, which is started in 2020, I have to use present over future. What is the interest rate? 8% according to the question. What is the difference between 2019 to 2020? It's 1 year. So this is how we can use it. So for present over future, present for 8%, for 8%. Present over future for how many years? For years 1. So we will use this value. So we will put this value, that 0.9259 instead of these parentheses. Now let's consider the first part. I'm telling you that according to the question, we have to pay 25 million for 4 years. So this is a payment which is annually each year. It's a fixed value. You have to pay it. So this is 4 years. What is the interest rate? 8%. We have to calculate that annual payment into present payment, into present worth. But the present here, I mean 2020, the present, because it started by 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. So for 4 years of payment, which is annually. First, I will calculate it. I will bring it to the beginning of the year 2020. After that, as I'm in 2019, I will bring it again back by this factor. So present over annual for 8% and 4. 8%, 4 years, present over annual is this value, this number, 3.312. So I put, instead of this parentheses, this value, and finally I can tell you that 76.6 million is the present cost of this construction. Now we have to calculate the maintenance cost. As you know, according to the question, we have to pay 2.5 million from the beginning of 2024 to the end of the project, which is 2053. 2024 to the end of the project, which is 2053. So as you know, we are on 2024. If the project that this is for 2024 to 2053. So we will merge them all to the beginning of this one, which is 2024. What is the difference between 2024 to 2053? It's 30 years, 30 years. So first, we will merge all these gradually increase into beginning of 2024. After that, now it's the time to bring all this value into the present time, which is 2019. What is the difference between 2019 to 2024? 5 years. According to the question, what is the interest rate? 8%. What we are going to do to change? We are changing the future value to the present value. So present over future, 5 years, 8%. We are using this number on that compound table. We will find 0.680x. Now, according to the question, as this payment is going to increase gradually by 2.8%, we have to use this formula. Just know that this formula is going to be used when the question is about gradually increasing with a fixed interest rate. So this interest rate is different with the interest rate of the question. The interest rate of the question is 8%, but it said that the payment of the operation and maintenance, it will be increased 2.8%. This is the formula: 1 minus 1 plus g divided by 1 plus I to the power of n divided by I minus g. What is the G? Here, 2.88%. What is the I? 8%. So now let's solve the question. 1 minus 1 plus G is 1028 divided by 1 plus I, 1.08 to the power of 30 years divided by I minus G, 0.8 minus 0.028 times how much is the first time? 2.5 million. So we can calculate it. The result would be 25.27. Now we have to calculate the salvage value, the present force of the salvage value. So the salvage value, it's mentioned that in 2053, the value is 5 million. But we have to calculate it in present time. What is the difference between 2019 to 2053? It is 34 years, correct? What is the intercept of the question? 8%. So which factor we are going to use? As you see, this is the value for future. We want to calculate the present value. So we will find the present over future. 8%, 34 years. So the result would be 0.365 million. Now we have to add all these costs, the present cost of the construction, present cost of the maintenance, present cost of the salvage, and the result would be 102.235 million. Thank you for watching this video. Wish you the best on your way for getting this certification. See you later.